Hello, welcome everyone. If you're like me and you've been seeing Beyblade X pop up all over your For You page or YouTube recommended and thought, hey, this looks kinda cool, but you've no idea where to actually start, it's okay, I was the same way, so please help me teach you how to get into Beyblade X. Beyblade X is the newest generation of Beyblade, and while it's fast, loud, and honestly kind of insane, it can feel very overwhelming if you're brand new. Even if you played older versions like Burst and Metal Fight, it can still be a bit much. In this video, I'm going to try to break things down simply for you guys, what Beyblade X is, what you need to get started, and how to jump in without spending a ton of money or getting confused. I'll help you guys learn about the different archetypes of Beyblades, as well as the different parts of Beyblades. So what is Beyblade X? At its core, Beyblade X is still Beyblade. 2 spinning tops enter a stadium, and one wins by either outlasting the opponent or knocking the opponent out. This tradition of spin top battles can be traced back all the way to 17th century Japan with Begoma, the original Beyblade. What makes Beyblade X unique or different from its past generations is it actually combines the gimmicks from those generations. Metal Fight was very popular because the Beyblades were fully made out of metal, allowing for these really cool collisions to happen. And Burst was really popular because of the high-paced action and your Beyblades exploding mid-contact. Beyblade X takes these ideas and adds its own gimmick with the new Stadium Extreme Line system. When Beyblades hit the line, the gears in its bit attach to it, allowing the Beyblade to effectively travel around the arena at extremely high speeds, allowing for these really powerful collisions and way more entertaining combat. Part of the appeal of Beyblade X is that every launch feels like it's important and impactful. The launch angles and your positioning does matter and can affect your Beyblade's movement. This combination of strategy and chaos really comes together for such a fun experience, and it's a really cool game. Let's go ahead and talk about what actually makes up a Beyblade X. This is where a lot of new players can get confused, so I want to help you guys break down the parts and learn what's actually what. The top part of the Beyblade, arguably the most important, often referred to as the blade, determines how your Beyblade actually hits. Some blades can be more aggressive, some can be more defensive, some can be rounder for better stamina, and others can be a mixture of all of the above for a balanced type Beyblade. Next up is the ratchet, arguably the least important part of a Beyblade combo. This controls the height and the burst resistance, however, not many of the ratchets are useful other than a few. The last part of a Beyblade, at the bottom, is called the bit. This is the tip of the Beyblade. Bits often affect the movement and whether your Beyblade stays centered, moves aggressively, or circles the stadium. Through mixing and matching different parts, you're able to effectively make different archetypes of Beyblades. Attack blades with defensive bits, defensive blades with heavy stamina, stamina guys with a lot of aggression. Here's an example of a hard-hitting defensive blade Rock Golem with a stamina bit called Ball, allowing him for passive movement yet tons of spin over time. Now here's that same Rock Golem, but now with a much more aggressive attack bit. Notice how it moves much quicker than before. It has much more aggressive attack pattern, but less stamina. The important thing to know is you don't have to memorize everything right away. When you're starting out, it's totally fine to use the stock combinations right out of the box. You'll find that some of them are actually surprisingly good. Now I'm going to show you how to actually start playing Beyblade X, and here's the good news, it's fairly simple. At the very minimum, you'll need one Beyblade, fully complete with parts, and one launcher. And that's about it. You can play Beyblades essentially anywhere. The best option for beginners to buy is usually the Stadium starter sets that usually come with 2 Beyblades and 2 launchers. These are designed for you to literally open the package and be able to play right away. If you're playing with friends or family, this is easily the best value. If you are just collecting or planning to play competitively, you are also able to buy Beyblades individually. I strongly urge you to make sure that you already own a Stadium and have a launcher of your own. I also strongly urge you to make sure all your launchers are officially Beyblade X merchandise because older generations of launchers do not work with new Beyblades, as well as there tend to be many fakes online, so please be careful. Next, I want to talk about what are some of the best sets to start with as a beginner blader. But before I get into that, I want to let you guys know that some of the best places to actually find Beyblade X happen to be your local offhand realtors like Burlington, Ross, or Five Below. You can find extremely cheap Beyblades for around $3 to $5 a pop. I found 2 packs for $5, singulars for $3. That's honestly where I've gotten a chunk of my collection from. Now I'd like to get into a few specific sets I recommend for new players to start out with. First up is Soar Phoenix on 960 gear flat, which comes with a official string launcher for 25 bucks. Very banging deal in my opinion. This is the first product for Beyblade X I bought. This is the number one thing I've heard most recommended for new players, so I figured why not buy it myself. Turns out fantastic Beyblade, fantastic launcher, overall amazing product. Next up, I recommend trying to get yourself a Wizard Rod on 160 Rush. This I found at Walmart for around $10, and Wizard Rod is the most competitively viable Beyblade. So if you plan on playing competitively, this is a must-buy in my opinion. Finally, I'd like to recommend the Drop Attack Stadium set. I don't personally own this set, as I already have a stadium, so I didn't see the need in buying one. But as a beginner, I think this is a great value at $35 on Amazon. You get a stadium and two very, very strong Beyblades to start out with. How do matches actually work? Well, Beyblade X is fairly straightforward. Players launch their Beyblades into the stadium at the same time, and a round is determined over when 1. A Beyblade wins by spin finish for 1 point. 2. A Beyblade wins by pocketing the opponent for 2 points. 3. A Beyblade bursts their opponent for 2 points. Lastly, a Beyblade hits their opponent out of the extreme finish zone for 3 points. Matches conclude when one Beyblade reaches a total of 5 points for the game. Now I'd like to talk about casual versus competitive play. Most people start out casually, and that's totally fine. I'm a casual player. Casual play is all about learning the parts and experimenting with different builds, and mostly just having fun with the Beyblades themselves. Competitive play is where Beyblade X becomes a lot more technical. Players are optimizing combos, studying matchups, and practicing their launch angles to really make sure they get the most out of their Beyblades. My advice, start casual. Learn what you like, and if you get hooked, competitive play will still be there for you later on. Here's a few things to avoid when starting out Beyblade X. First, don't feel pressured to buy everything all at once. Second, if you're just starting out competitively, don't feel bad about not winning every match. Third, if you're coming from past generation of Beyblade, don't automatically assume that knowledge can carry over perfectly. Beyblade X is very unique from its predecessors. Most importantly, don't overthink it. Beyblade is meant to be fun, and at its core, it is, so have fun. If you had been curious about Beyblade X but didn't know where to start, hopefully this video helped clear things up for you. It's easy to get into, exciting to watch, and honestly so much fun once you get your first few Beyblades in. If you enjoyed this or found it helpful, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the stadium. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.